so that's part of the implementation. Excellent. And down to about the middle of the page, we see the city does not have a formal bidding policy and bidding procedures for the city and are not documented. A bidding policy for the city should be developed, adopted by ordinance, and distributed to all departments. And in the comments, she has a draft being updated by Mr. Powers, our Safety Service Director. And we can check and get an update with him on the progress of that. Moving on to page 3, we're going to cash disbursements. And you'll see there's a column that says not started. She has an X in there. So the city should document the procedures for cash disbursements, including staff positions and functions. This document should also include procedures for invoices exceeding the purchase order and the use of then and now certifications. Is that the coming out of the
ultimately, it's the auditor's office.
correct? Okay. We'll ask for an update on that one. Moving on to page 4. Assets and inventory, and I think these last few here, well, next to last, on page 4, are regarding assets and inventory. The second one down, example was sent to the city, met with Norcom and SSD, and what needs done after year end. So, and I think that all 4 of these, I'll read the rest of the comments, I think they kind of all revolve around the assets and inventory. Let's see here, the next comment, talked to Norcom about some change to delete sheet to be implemented. Also talked with Norcom and SSD. New forms were shared with us, and we looked at examples of adds and deletes on file. The city is going to revamp slightly to make deletes clearer. And then the one below that, I think they're referring to the spreadsheet, and track infrastructure should include the useful life for every asset listed. The next one, the end process still has assets with 0 in useful life. So that needs to be corrected. And then the last comment regarding assets and inventory, it says the city is using asset tags, and examples talked on 12/7/22 with Norcom, assets not tagged that should be. So I think all 4 of those encompass the assets and inventory and the tagging and so forth for that. So, and I think Mayor Schneider, you're working with Norcom on these.
Yeah, I agree. The first one is, I mean, goes all the way down to the level of printer cartridges and reams of paper and all of those consumable items. And we do have a storage area where those are locked up, but the allocation of those materials as they're consumed is not tracked as well as they'd like to have them tracked and accounted for, which rightfully so. And then the big part is when you talk about some of the assets, they're talking, it gets to a point where it's even an engineering study to look at the infrastructure that we have underground, and you know, those are assets that the city owns, and so there's some other challenges there. And I know that Norcom has been working heavily on getting all the assets tagged and getting desks tagged and getting computers tagged and everything, which we haven't had for many years. And they've made good progress on that. They have a software system, and all that's getting is set up and operating, but there's more to be done. Yes.
Okay, excellent. We'll move on to page 5, financial reporting. A copy of the monthly bank reconciliation with supporting documentation should be presented to City Council at meetings. I've spoken with Anna Mary. This is a simple fix. We'll put the bank reconciliation into the Finance Committee with Mr. Thompson. Then you'll discuss it there, review it, report out. We vote on it. They just want us to do that on a monthly basis, and that takes care of that one. So that's pretty simple. Okay. So we'll just we'll start doing that. And I think you mentioned you're going to have one here pretty soon. And then just wanted to bring to your attention There are quite a few of the pages you'll see here that are in process. And then you'll see another column that says cleared but requires monitoring. So there are quite a few of those as well. And I think I've emailed Anna Mary and asked when the next time that they're going to be down to City Hall to do that process. So I think that's something that's kind of ongoing. But I wanted to bring this to you tonight, have a brief meeting, bring everybody up to date on where we stand and kind of who is responsible for the ones that are outstanding right now. I know they're working on them, but I just want everyone to know. And then we'll report out on this at the next meeting. So is there any questions or comments regarding? Tried to keep this in a nice spreadsheet format and kind of where we can review it and see where we're at and what we need to complete. I will say that feels like we're a lot closer to the finish line than we have been.
Seems a lot shorter than it was.
Yes, I agree. So that's, and I will say with Mayor Schneider and his leadership, there's quite a few people, Mr. Bonsall, I think Mr. Stith and Mr. Powers and many others that have really worked very hard to get this. This was a lot, it was a big apple. It takes small bites to get it. So I think we're in a good spot here. So we'll just continue to keep pressing and bringing this to your attention so you can see where we're at. So if you don't have any other questions or comments, I promised I'd keep it short. I'm fascinated by finance. Maybe some other people aren't, but I do like talking about it. So if there isn't anything else, we'll go ahead and we'll adjourn the committee of the whole. Thank you very much.